Hey everybody, it's Dan, your friendly fish I can't even talk, I'm so tired. Hey everybody, it's Dan, your friendly fishmonger. Let's try that again. Hey everybody, it's Dan, your friendly fishmonger from dansfish.com, and I've got an unboxing today. I'm super tired. It's late. These fish were supposed to arrive Monday about noon. It is now Wednesday at about 2:30 a.m. 2:30 in the morning. I just got back from the airport, and so I'm going to unbox these. Be pretty quick about it because I'm so tired, and these poor fish have been in the bag for so long. I want to get them out pretty quick, so I'm going to jump right into it. What I'm going to do first is a quick triage. Just take out each bag, look at it, look at all the bags, and see if anyone's really struggling. If so, I'll get to them first. So just a quick triage to start. Alright, rummy nose rasboras. If I get too close to the camera there, you're going to be completely out of the light. Water looks clear, they look good. Not bad for being in the bag for so long. What are these? Some red endlers. Males and females in the bag together. But there's some fry in there. A little cloudy, so I'm going to kind of put them over here so I get to them first. Guppies come in cloudy a lot in endlers and stuff, live bears. I just don't think that they fast them properly. Oh, I'm glad these are doing okay because this bag doesn't have a lot of air left in it. Two-spot cats. Mrs. Spinaculatus, I hope, because those are the ones that stay small. That's what I wanted. Let's see what I actually got. Hillstream trouts. So far, I'm very surprised at how well things are doing. What are you all individually bagged? Oh, bettas! Wild type bettas. These are betta picta. Or, I'm sorry, betta prima. Oh no, there's one there that didn't make the trip. It got totally smashed. Oh man. But everyone else looks good. Excited about those. I feel bad for that guy. He doesn't look like he was bagged properly. His bag deflated. He got squished. What are you? I have no idea what this is. Oh, it's a Gara. Okay, so I got the hump head Gara. Those are so little they're not showing the hump head, but that's what they must be. Oh. Now, this box I already opened at the airport to do a quick temperature check. The temperature was in the 60s. That's why it's already open. I like to do that with one of the boxes just so I can see if I need to open up the box and crank up the heat in the car or whatever. If they're really, really cold, then I'll do that. Some puffers, some big old puffers. I don't know if these are what I thought they were. What I thought I was getting was a red-eye puffer. These look a lot bigger than I thought. So we'll sort those out in a bit. Oh good. Horsehead loaches, and they look good. I mean, they look really skinny, but horsehead loaches always look skinny. So far, I'm pleasantly surprised for being delayed for 2 days and being an import order, which frequently don't do well. I'm pleasantly surprised. Oh, these look great. Blue belly gobies. Those are cute as a button. Wow, I really like those. I like how they're crimping the corners so the fish aren't getting stuck in the corners. That's really nice. More puffers. There's a betta freaking out in here. You okay there, buddy? To get you guys out pretty quick. Some more endlers. I hate how they put this big, thick bag of zeolite in there. I get that they're trying to help with ammonia, which is good, but it's kind of, it's like a big rock. Shift around and squish some fish pretty easy. Okay, last box coming up. So I received 14 species. I ordered like 76. So I ordered like 16 boxes. Got 3. That's a fishmonger's life during COVID-19. Just there's not a lot of air traffic between countries, and it's really hampering imports right now. Okay, last box. Fingers crossed. Okay, what are you? Honey gouramis? Yeah, they're doing fine. All right, tortillas. Not quite sure which species yet. Ooh, you guys are stuck up here. But let me get them into tanks and out of the bags and stuff, and then I can worry about that. Serpent loaches. Oh, good. Looked like they were smashed, but they weren't. They're just stuck up there. Some loaches. Got a few different kinds of loaches. And I'm out of buckets, and I have one more bag. And it is coolie loaches. More loaches. These are the giant coolies. They get like 4 inches, which is why I got them. I'm excited about them. Okay. So I'm going to do the endlers, because their water's pretty cloudy. Get the puffers and the betta prima out first. So I'm going to start working on that. Well, they were about 60 degrees when I checked them at the airport, but I did crank up the heat in the car on the way here. It's about a 2-hour drive, and now their temperature is up to like 73 degrees. So I am going to go ahead and put them right in the tanks. I'm glad I checked that. Yeah, they're not as cold as I thought. So here we go. So I'll do a couple of bags here on camera, and then I'll switch that off and do the rest as fast as I can off camera, because it's the same. So there's not much point in just doing it over and over and over. Alright, so these guppies are not in the best of shape. I mean, they're okay, but the water's cloudy and gross. It almost always is with guppies. Endlers, I should say. Same thing. Same thing as far as shipping goes, anyway. Okay. Make sure they're all out of the bag. Get out that big old rock of zeolite. Okay. Take a quick picture. It's going to get brighter here. Need the light. So I can do a count later. Alright. Then, right through the net. Get him out of that nasty water. Alright, next bag. More endlers. Just see how cloudy that water is? Yeah, live bears. It's generally like that with live bears. Water does not smell the best. Quick picture. And through a net. Alright, we're going to rinse and repeat that for all these fish. I'm going to get those puffers, get those betta prima, and those catfish out, and then get everyone else out too, but those are the priorities. So I'm going to shut off the camera so I can do that quickly. Okay, I'm putting all the fish away. These are the last fish to let go. These are the horse-face loaches, and I just want to show you a really cool behavior. As soon as I let them out of this bag, they're going to burrow into the sand. These guys were born to play in sand, like some saltwater fish. So here we go. And this video is just on my phone, so, you know, the sound might be bad, the picture might be bad, but there goes one. Woo! Down in the sand, right there in the middle. It's gone. So a lot of times you'll get horse-faced loaches and you'll be like, where did they go? Hang on, let me shut the lid here. Sorry, it's gonna get shaky for a second. There's no more in the tank. Well, they just went down in the sand, and they kind of need that. They kind of need to be able to do that. They're not going to feel secure if they can't burrow down, because in nature, that's what they do. They hide down in the sand all day, and they pop out and hunt occasionally. Look at them sift through it. When they're feeling insecure, when it's, you know, predator swims by or whatever, they need to be able to get down in the sand to be comfortable. Well, I kind of thought that they would all dart down into the sand, since, you know, this is what I would imagine is a scary time, but it looks like most of them are just like, nah, man, let's sift this. Let's find some food. But we gotta see one. We gotta see one. And obviously I'm not going to purposely scare them. There they go. Another one went darted down into the sand. Anyway, I think they're fascinating. Neat pattern, neat body shape, really neat fish. Completely adapted to do one thing, and that's play in the sand. Their behavior is so neat, so unique. Anyway, they're kicking up so much sand that it's getting cloudy in here, so just thought that was a neat little interlude. Alright, well, everyone has been tanked, everyone has been medicated, and I'd like to take you around and show you everyone right now in their tanks, but it's about 4:30 a.m. I'm tired, so I'm going to go to bed, and I'll show you what they look like tomorrow or the next day, or whenever I recover enough from this to do that. I've got some meetings tomorrow, things like that, so, but in just a moment in this video, I'll show you what they look like later today or tomorrow. Alright, hang on, we'll get there. Alright, I got some sleep. It's a little later in the day, the next morning. It's the next day. It's Wednesday still, but the next day, because now I've slept. Let me take you around and show you how everyone's doing a few hours after they were put in their tanks. So, yeah, I'll take you around and show you everybody. Okay, we'll start with the quarantine system. I'm trying a few things with these puffers. These aren't what I thought I was getting. I thought I was getting little 1-inch puffers. These are huge. These are big. That's a, what, 4-inch fish maybe, off the top of my head? Just looking at it without measuring. So, I was going to put them all in a 75-gallon together. A bunch of little 1-inchers with a bunch of plants, but since this is a little unexpected, I'm doing something different. I put a few of them in quarantine tanks with 2 cups of salt like I do everything else. That guy, this guy, and I will get some hides in there and stuff so they feel more comfortable. I was just exhausted last night and didn't get, you know, flower pots or anything in there, but I'll do that pretty quick here. So those guys are in the normal quarantine. This guy, I went ahead and put in half the amount. There's only 1 cup of salt in this tank. His little face. Worried about his eyes, they're a little cloudy. They all came in with eyes that were a little cloudy. Actually, one of them didn't, but several of them did. So hopefully clean water and meds will help. This one as well. Just 1 cup of salt instead of 2, because I didn't know exactly what their salt tolerance was. And then on these up here, this is 2 cups of salt and some crushed coral, in case that helped them recover. So I'm trying it a couple different ways, and they're all doing fine, so they seem to be liking all the ways we're doing it, which is a good sign. Here are the guppies. A few are struggling guppies. They're endlers. They're endlers. Here are the yellow endlers. A few of them are struggling, but in general, I'm hopeful that the batch will be okay. There's 2 cups of salt in here, and I did put in a bunch of crushed coral, just because sometimes I have issues with endlers and guppies. and other live bearers when I import them, so I'm trying everything I can to make it so that they have the best chance of success. And they like hard water and they like salt, so this is new. Usually I just do the salt. We'll see if the crushed coral makes a difference. These are the red endlers. I like them too. Same thing. Some salt to try to make them feel a little more at home. Alright, now we'll walk over to another part of the fish room here and show you some other stuff. Here's the boxes that everyone came in, still all stacked up. It's a mess in here. I didn't do anything. I went to sleep and didn't do much more. Now, two of the puffers I went ahead. This is the tank I was planning on putting all of them in, and I might still, but I don't know, you know, big old 4-inch adults versus what I was expecting, which were little 1-inch babies. So I put two of them in here just to kind of see if they get along, see what their temperament is. I've read mixed things. Some sites say, oh yeah, they'll get along as long as there's plants and stuff, they'll be fine. Some sites say, no, it'll be a bloodbath. So I'm just trying a few different things to see what the reality is. So far, no one's picked on anybody. Well, so far they haven't done much of anything but sit there. They're recovering. These are the Hillstream trouts. They are doing fantastic. I don't think we're gonna have any problems with this fish. I think this is just a hardy fish, naturally. Super active, super hardy. No issues at all. They're gonna be great. These, oh, pardon all the glass. So I have them in with some Panduro Apistos because I think the Panduro will help them settle in and feel safe. Did they all disappear? Apparently, as soon as I walked over, they all just rushed behind that Java moss. So maybe we'll see a couple of them. There's one there in the Java moss. But there's a couple over here. Hopefully you can see them through those water spots. But they haven't colored up or anything yet. They just look like gray little fish at this point. Anyway, there's a bunch in there, but we're not going to see them, unfortunately. And I think that might be all the ones that I put down here. Yeah. So let's go outside to the annex and show you the rest of them. All right. So that door is the annex, right there. That's the door to my fish room. As you can see, it's snowing pretty good. So I'm gonna tuck the camera under my sweatshirt and head over so that it doesn't get wet. I think that's the move. Okay, we're standing at the entrance to the annex. The lighting's not great in here. I just have lights over the tanks. I don't have any like work lights up here or anything yet. So hopefully the video will be okay as we walk around. That was some stuff I used for unbagging the fish yesterday. Here's all the bags and buckets and stuff just still on the floor. But we'll get to cleaning up, but that's not happening right now. Let's start down here. Yeah. With these. These are what they were calling blue belly gobies. I really like these. I don't know if the blue's coming through on some of them or not. Just put sand in these tanks a few days ago, so it's still a little cloudy. I decided to put sand in the annex tanks, most of them anyway, because I think the fish will show up better. I think we'll get better pictures and videos and stuff on sand than that black bottom. Sometimes it's hard to see the fish, you know, when the entire tank's painted black and there's nothing else. But I like these. The blue on them is amazing. They are not your typical blue neon gobies of this that we see. There's something else. I don't know what exactly, but I don't think that they're the normal species. They came in labeled as this, and then on the invoice they were labeled as something else. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research, and I don't know if we'll ever be able to pinpoint the exact species. All these gobies are so new, and a lot of them look very similar, so it's kind of hard to tell. But anyway, they're in there, they're doing well. They came in strong. I need to get some decker in there and stuff, some pipes and stuff for them to play on and all that. But for now, they're doing fine. And yeah, I'm happy about that. Here's the 2-spot catfish, Bagris bimaculatus, I believe. I caught them sparring earlier today, and I think they're okay. This is a new fish for me, so I'm not sure how they're supposed to act, but they were sparring this morning. Like, whenever I see a fish just laying on the bottom motionless like that, it concerns me. But, you know, these are catfish, so maybe that's perfectly fine. Most of them are under the filter. I guess you can catch a glimpse of them there. And I'm hoping these are bimaculatus, because those only get about 2.5 inches or so. I'm hoping they're not the other species that gets about 8 inches, but even then that would be okay. But I'm really hoping they aren't like a man-eater. But from what I researched, I think these are the little guys. So it's not a fish I'm super familiar with though, so I'll be figuring that out as I go along. So that's all I put down here. Just some of the fish from before, some lemon tetras, some neons down below, lemon tetras up there, rosy tetras there. Here's all the guppy fry that we pulled. Now, the front of the tank is full of algae because I leave it there. This is a rearing tank, and algae does great things for fish. Helps buffer issues that can affect water quality, and gives the fish something to graze on and stuff. So, but look how big they've got. What is this, a week and a half? They're over 1/2 inch, several of them. Been feeding them like crazy. There's a bunch of baby brine shrimp in there, and I've been feeding them blackworms. Here are my new favorite. I don't think I'll ever be without these in my life again, these horse-face loaches. I've had them before in a large facility I worked at, but I didn't really know much about them, and I mean, I didn't have them, the business got them and sold them and stuff. Since then, I've done my research and I found out about how they need sand and things. Unfortunately, the place I worked at that had them did not have them on sand or even gravel, and I found out how much they love sand, and so I did this deep sand bed on this tank, well, deep enough for them to burrow in, and they're just amazing. They're so fun to watch. So I like these. These are one of my new favorites. Now, because they sift the sand so much, this tank is very cloudy. Again, I just put new sand in it a few days ago, and they're stirring it up and stirring it up. In a little while, all those particulates will be worked out through the filter and the overflow and stuff, but it's going to be cloudy like that for a little while. It's a healthy tank. Water values are fine, but it's not the best to look at. So we'll move on. Here's the coolie loaches, and they just all swim under the filter as soon as I approached. They're all in there, all squeezed in there like coolies do. And yes, I will get some pipes and stuff in here. That's what I'm doing next, for them to hang out in. The Betta Prima. They're great. Like, this order, I was so worried about this order. I mean, it's supposed to be here Monday around noon. It was delayed so long. But, yeah, these guys came in pretty good. There was one DOA, and I think what happened was he was in a bag with very little oxygen, and the bag was pretty flaccid. So I think it probably got the corner bent or something in such a way that he could not get up to get to the oxygen. Is probably what happened there. But everyone else came in looking really good. I mean, they're still new. It'll take a little while, but they're looking pretty good. Here are the hill streaming sand loaches or serpent loaches, and these guys play in the sand a lot too, so it's a little cloudy, but I'm really liking them. They have the fins, the kind of elongated fins. This is my first time getting this fish ever. I don't think I've ever had them anywhere I worked or or anything. I think this is my first time seeing them in person, other than pictures. But they have the kind of the hill streaming fin shape, but not the compact body of like your Sewillia lineolata or your gastromyzon or pseudogastromyzon. So I think they appreciate flow, but don't need to have it. And they're just out here browsing through the sand, looking good. So I think they're going to be great. Same with this. New sand and a substrate stirring up fish makes it really cloudy. But here's the lohachatas. They look super cute. Super cute. Bottia lohachata. And we'll move on because that tank is so sandy. Here are the, what do they call them? Spike-nosed garas, or I'll have to look again. But I don't think they have it yet, or maybe they're not in breeding condition, or maybe they're just too young. But they get this big, amazing kind of growth almost looking thing on their nose as adults. So they're kind of unique. They're the only gar that does that I know of. So I brought them in just to try them. The pictures looked really cool, so I think they're going to mature into something pretty special. Not a cheap fish though. Those were very expensive. Then up top here are the honey gouramis, and doing pretty good. There were a couple that were struggling, and I think a couple have passed away. But in general, I think the shipment overall is going to be fine. I haven't pulled any dead or anything, so looks like there might be a couple down. But again, this is only a few hours after they came in and got them bagged and things, so we're still figuring out how things will go. But in general, yeah, for a shipment that was delayed as long as this was, I'm pleasantly surprised. I was expecting bad stuff. I was expecting some real smelly bags of some real dead fish, which is never fun. But you know, even when the fish do get here on time, sometimes there can be issues. So a 2-day delay like that, that had me worried. But the supplier did a good job this time. Like it's kind of hit and miss, but glad to say I think this is doing fine. By the way, I wanted to talk about quarantine. Those of you that are familiar with dansfish.com know that I quarantine everything for at least 2 weeks before I sell it, and that I use some medicines that will kill a bioactive system. And the tanks out in the annex and some of these tanks that you saw fish in here are obviously bioactive. Now these are not. These are sterile quarantine tanks, so if I put the medicine in there, there's no problem. There's nothing for it to kill. But if I put the medicine in the other tanks, the 75 gallons or the 40 gallons out in the fish annex that do have active sponge filters and nitrifying bacteria populations, the medicine I use, the antibiotic I use specifically, will kill those populations, and we'll have a big problem. We'll have a big ammonia spike, which will kill everything. So I'm still quarantining, for those that are wondering, and I'm still using those medicines, but I'm doing something different. I'm using medicated food now, which I've never done in the past because I wasn't real comfortable, because how do you know exactly what the dosage and all that? But I've talked to enough people who've had good success with it, and that's how I did the last batch of fish, the last couple batches of fish that I got in, and it worked really well. It might even be working better than the old way. Now, there are some fish that aren't going to eat that food, and then I'll have to figure something else out. But so far, the medicine that I feed has nitrofurazone in it, has kanamycin in it, and has metronidazole in it. And then, so I feed that, and then after the first week or so feeding that, I switch to another food that has praziquantel in it and levamisole. And all that together, during the 2-week quarantine process, I think is going to do a pretty good job. So it's still early. I've only done it with 2 batches of fish. I haven't done it for years and years and years yet. But I think it's a way to feed fish when they first come in and are hungry. and still get them the medicines instead of having to wait to feed them until they're out of the sterile quarantine system. So still quarantining, still medicating, just using a different delivery system. And I'll let you guys know long term how it goes, but so far from the couple shipments I've done it on, the results seem pretty promising. So for all of you that are wondering, hey, why aren't you quarantining those fish and medicating them? I still am, just doing it different. So wanted to clear that up. So I think we'll cut it there. Thanks for watching. If you like this stuff, if you consider liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, sharing, all that jazz would be greatly appreciated. And until next time, I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.